time again. You are back.
Big episode.
Big episode. You know what I like about these type of episodes is it's not just a lot of like smaller topics. There's a lot of those, but it's a few big ones that I think we're all really interested in.
Yeah, one is I'm going to wear masks for the rest of my life.
So Dee has decided he's wearing masks for the rest of his life, and we want to know, we have a little discussion about what everyone else is going to do. Of course, we open up with a little bit of COVID discussion. Then we talk about, I don't know, maybe the most hyped interview of the year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what's the last one? R. Kelly with, what's her name? Morning show?
R. Kelly? Like R.
Remember
Kelly
when R.
singer?
Kelly did an interview with...
Gayle King?
Yeah.
I didn't even watch that.
Okay, so this is the highest, biggest hyped episode maybe in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, Kanye West.
Yes.
We're talking about it. We're giving our opinions, our full analysis of the interview.
Yeah.
And of Kanye West really as a person, I guess.
Some not so kind things.
Some not so kind things. I think we all have similar but different takes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're obviously going to cover real quickly the final debate. We're getting close to election time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a lot of news to go over. A lot of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it at that. There's a lot going on, and we had a big discussion about these 3 big topics, and then we kind of squeezed in everything else. And then we end with a new segment that we're working on called the Karen of the Week, where we teamed up with Keeping Up with the Karens, incredible Instagram page. And we all pick who's acting like a Karen this week.
I got 2.
Dee's got 2. A lot of Karens out there. And technically, Anand picked Dee.
Yes.
So that and a bunch more to talk about. Guys, it's time for group chat.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
It happened.
What did?
Joe Rogan, Kanye West.
Oh, I thought you were going to come out of the...
Oh, you thought I had Rona?
Yeah.
I thought you just come
Come out of the
Come out of
closet.
the Rona closet? Yeah. Imagine if I was here today with no mask and I was like, guys, I got it.
I think it'd be fitting for the trend we're heading in the country.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth talking about that real quick. Because look, I mean, we got mixed reviews on our episode length, so we're going to be in the middle. We're talking about, it appears, at least in Los Angeles, we're curious what's happening in all your hometowns, but we're guessing it's similar. There is a massive disparity here. So we're breaking records in numbers of cases. Corona is climbing. Mm-hmm. We're headed into flu season, into winter, into blah, 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 and everyone being indoors. It seems like the older crowd, and by older, I mean actually us, like I'd say late 20s and above, maybe 30 and above, especially those with families, small kids, whatever, still care like it's the beginning. We're still pretty much as safe as we've been. Maybe not wiping down grocery safe.
Yeah.
But pretty fucking safe.
We're not going to large gatherings. We're not doing indoor stuff.
I'm not even taking random lunches. I don't go to a lunch to catch up with someone.
No, I think I've done like a couple walks.
Yep.
I've done 2 meals at dinner time, and I've done, I think, 2 lunches, period.
And the couple outdoor hangs with not my wife, Amanda, or AJ and Hope, who we quarantine with, are one-on-ones, not like with 6 or 7 people.
Yep. So I'd say for the most part, this is just our judgment, that's the story. Of course, you have the no mask crowd. Of course, you have the hoax crowd. Of course, you have the Q and on-in crowd.
No, for this one, you can't do Q on it.
I'm going to rebrand it. Then you have the young crowd.
Yeah.
Who seems to not give a single fuck. Like if Coachella was starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
The young crowd would be there.
100%.
In force. They could probably sell out Coachella for this weekend.
Yeah, my only reference points are what I see on social media. So social media, I'll see college things like sporting events, college parties.
Yep.
I see that happening all the time. And then where I live in Hollywood. So I drive down Fairfax nearly every single day.
Yep.
I run on Melrose a lot. And in Hollywood, in central Hollywood, and it is just kids everywhere.
Packed.
Fairfax looks like daily, like there's a drop.
Where
it
are
looks
they?
like there's a festival like one of those like eat and shop festivals.
So I haven't driven by. Where are they lining up to go? Or they just want to roam the streets?
So Beverly up.
Yeah, I know.
Fairfax
Stores.
Oh, you mean what are they doing?
Yeah, what are they doing?
The hot chicken spot that just opened on
Dave's Hot
Fairfax
Chicken,
and
yeah.
Rosewood.
I also think people are just
every table is packed.
so every table at Dave's Hot Chicken is packed. Stores are packed. Any that are open. And what's funny is you have this like juxtaposition of like stores are open and packed or boarded up and like spray painted. Like it's really weird.
Yeah.
And then I think that there is honestly just people like that just say, hey, you want to go to Melrose today and just like walk around. Like it doesn't look like a normal Melrose in the summer. It looks a little bit more like free for all.
Yeah.
Like people are partying, smoking weed, music,
Yes,
like
back on
cars or
scooters, music.
Yeah, a lot
so
of
many
wheels.
people shooting videos.
Really?
Yes, either content or music or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just people out in convertibles with cameras. It
Yep.
is-
Wheels, scooters, a lot of those.
Yeah.
And then all the like sneaker shops and shit like that have armed guards.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the point is, and I'm curious to hear from our listeners, it's like, I guess the question is, what happens from here? That's what we were talking about. I don't think, you can never force that crowd to chill out again.
Nope.
They did their duty. They're never going to do that again. And now they are fully convinced that this is a bad flu. And for most of them, it probably is.
Yeah.
And they're going to be out.
Yeah.
So do we just, like, are our numbers through the fucking roof through the winter?
And the numbers actually, interesting enough, it's the Midwest states that are hitting what the Northeast got early on.
Yeah.
Really?
So everyone's kind of was shitting on New York and a lot of the states in that region because their cases were through the roof in March. Now the Midwest is on fire.
Well, here's the thing. And people keep talking about, oh, New York's fine. Obviously I don't know what daily life is in New York City. My guess is everything is still outside. People do wear masks when they need to. I'm sure a shitload of people already got it.
Yep.
So that helps with hospitalizations and new cases. So, I mean, I understand why maybe New York looks different, but in there's two things happening. One, people that get it, you know, you're more susceptible if you have a weak immune system, right? Like you have a higher likelihood of getting it. If you have the pre-existing conditions, I don't know if the likelihood is less, but the effect is higher.
Sure.
In the Midwest and the South, it's very, very unhealthy. And people don't realize that, like...
And let's be clear, in the Midwest, they don't have the number of hospitals that the metropolitan cities have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you think about LA, I mean, what do we have? Right, 25 hospitals within 20 miles?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every 5 blocks is a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what people don't realize is that, and it actually was touched on, which we're going to get to next on the Kanye Joe Rogan episode, one of the few bright spots was preventive medicine being healthy. And if you look
Vote
at...
for Kanye.
What?
Vote Kanye.
Yeah, that's his whole thing.
He'll
He'll fix all that, right?
Yeah.
But I think the interesting thing is that people's health, which we just don't care for in general, are so poor in different parts of the country. I mean, the whole country is filled with pre-existing conditions. If you actually looked at pre-existing conditions in America, it's probably a third of the population.
Maybe
Gotta
more.
be.
No, I think it's more.
If you tie in obesity, what is obesity percentage?
I
of the
think if
country
you would
alone?
say
40-50%.
In the
so
adult
then now you're
population,
talking-
it's at least half.
So 60%. If obesity is 40,
Yeah.
then it's 60, 70 is pre-existing.
I mean, you take that into consideration. And what people don't understand, everyone just likes looking at the data right this second. There's clearly a lag with this virus, right? You could get it. It could take 2-3 weeks to recover from. We don't know what damage it does to your body. And then we see what happens. So I think people are jumping the gun to say that, like, everyone just wants to reopen the country. If that's what you want to do, go fucking for it.
Yeah.
I don't really care anymore. Like, I'm not trying to I don't think there's ever going to be another lockdown ever again in American history.
No, not what we had in April.
Yeah, I don't know what could cause it.
Yeah, unless
You could
it's like a
literally,
war.
like,
Like, I don't think it's ever going to happen. So,
And especially because it's been politicized. We had Mark Meadows, the White House chief of staff, this morning on CNN with Jake Tapper saying, we can't contain it. Just stop. It's over.
it's out of control.
It's going to be here.
Like, just go live your life.
Yeah, he's like, it's a virus. It's contagious. Like, that kind of thinking is so flawed because I actually, I'm generally an optimist, but the pessimist in me is like, this was the wake-up call.
Yeah.
like this was definitely deadly. Obviously, 220,000 people died, but the percentage rate is not that high.
Yeah.
When the virus that is actually deadly,
it's
we're
over.
all toast.
We're done.
And there's no reason to have this arrogance to think that we can't get a deadly virus in this country.
Yeah. I mean, this should be a test. I remember we all talked about it. And I remember specifically sitting at a dinner on Friday night at Craig's and saying, there is never a situation in the world that could happen where this place isn't packed on a Friday night.
Yeah.
I could not wrap my head around it. So what's the jump from this to it's actually
imagine if
high
we had,
fatality
so
rate?
we're talking 0.5% mortality rate on this virus, and 220,000 people died. Think about the magnitude of that, 220,000.
And by the way,
imagine if we did 2%.
It's a bloodbath. Everyone's dead is what it would feel like.
Well, and here's the problem is that people like to keep pointing at that mortality rate of only 0.5%. This is when we were locked the fuck down.
Yep.
And we took some consideration for masks. We're not even open up yet. So we know there'll be continuing restrictions are going to be removed. And there's going to be people that get infected that unfortunately the virus does have a bad effect on them.
So I watched Comey Rule. I'm not going to talk about Comey Rule now.
Yeah.
We can if you guys want to. I finally watched it.
Yeah.
But the scene from Pulse nightclub,
Oh, yeah.
when all the FBI are walking, and I'm like, they don't have masks on?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's like so many people dead. There's
know.
blood. There's guts. I was like, I was watching that. I was like, that is unfathomable that these guys don't have masks on.
So that's the other question, right? We're raising two
But
questions.
that was years ago.
No,
You
I know,
that.
but I know. I'm just saying mentally. I was like, holy shit.
So here's two
Yeah.
questions that we're going to talk about anyway. Let's talk about them now. Number one, does anything change in the food industry or regulations or anything like that because we've now seen how exposed we are? Or does no one give a fuck?
So I'll tell you, I bet you, because Europe has always been very strict on food regulation.
Yep.
I think in Europe, they get I think the regulation in the UK and the EU become very strict because they are self-realizing that if we are a healthier population, we will withstand these things a little bit better. And generally speaking, the food restrictions in Europe are of the strongest globally.
America, we doubled down.
So in America, I'm curious to see. Here's what the American version will be. We're not going to tell you, no, you can't have your Doritos and Oreo.
Yeah.
I read an article. So I don't know how to pronounce the company that owns Oreos. Is it Mondelez?
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So a spokesman about Oreos and how they're unhealthy.
Yeah.
And they're like, would you guys ever rework the ingredients? And she's like, we like to suggest self-control and moderation.
Yeah.
Everything's okay in moderation. You don't have to eat 14 Oreos. Maybe stick to 6.
Yeah.
And that is the advice our food industry is giving to the people, that we should be more self-controlled.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we know for a fact there are entrepreneurs in the food industry that are developing things that taste great, that are a little bit healthier.
Yep.
And I think that is the only way America can get healthy on the food supply.
Yeah.
There's no way. We can't get people to wear masks out of courtesy so that other people won't die.
Totally.
You take away Doritos and Dr. Pepper?
yeah, I don't
Here's the
think-
problem. You can't, I don't think it's physically possible to make something that tastes as good as Doritos and Dr. Pepper that is as affordable. Like
So-
it's price, right?
Sure. So let's take electric cars.
Yep.
What Elon Musk did is force everyone's hand on electric cars. And he said, I can make it more affordable. Tesla, sure, is not affordable to everyone today. But because he forced this movement towards electric cars, Chevy, GM, Ford, someone's going to figure it out, and there's going to be a $10,000 electric car.
Isn't the Volt pretty affordable?
Yeah, it is. It's very affordable. So it's in that direction. What's going to happen is the Beyonds, the Impossibles, or whomever it is.
It'll happen over time, but I think to Drama's point, there's just going to be people that it just tastes too good.
No, I agree.
They're just like, I don't
It's
care.
too
Like
good.
even like a scene from, not to bring up Comey Rule again, where General Flynn's just like early morning coffee and donuts. I was like, who does this?
Yeah.
I was like, who eats like this?
A lot of people.
Yeah,
A
no.
lot of people.
I mean, if I'm up really early in the morning and I'm
You're getting a
driving-
donut?
No, never.
Okay.
You know, I drive by donut shops and there's lines.
Always. You should see Ohio. Ohio is all coffee and donuts until 10 a.m.
You know what's crazy is that I'll get a DM tomorrow.
Yeah.
Say you're in a bubble. and I'll be like, sure. In reference to the health, and I'm saying, is the bubble that I'm self-aware enough to know?
Yeah, I would counter that they're in an information bubble. They don't learn information outside of their bubble.
Yeah.
Where you shouldn't be eating these things every
I think
day.
this is a good bubble in this case.
Yeah, because I don't care if you will spend some enormous amount of money on something else, but you won't do anything to put something, that's good for you into your body or for your health. The amount of money people spend on nonsense, if you broke down your budget and you saw how much money do you spend on bettering preventive things for your health
for sure,
versus things that damage your body, it's not even measurable. Like there's nobody, LA, New York, people maybe in San Francisco, like Miami, there's like a handful of cities where like you clearly, when you walk around, you're like, oh shit, people care about their health. Yeah. And people think that's superficial, but like you look at what's happening in this country with the virus, you should double down on your health now.
Yeah, look, in my opinion, the biggest thing that it isn't talked about enough is for the first time ever, we live in a time when the number one thing that everyone should be worried about is self-regulation.
Yes.
Like before, everything was regulated. It was pretty simple. You had 4 channels to watch.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Now you can spend all day shoving your face with Doritos, looking at Instagram and playing Call of Duty, and no one's going to say a word, and it's really fucking fun.
Yeah.
And like, it's free.
Yeah.
You have to police yourself.
Yeah.
There's no other way. Because no one's going to be able to rein all this shit in. Mm-hmm. Like, you think getting rid of Big Macs is going to get rid of our problem? No way. Then, then go to the next thing, then go to the next thing. Like, I think the ship has sailed.
Yeah.
I think I think you're right on like the Tesla comparison, but like, if you're not teaching your kids, I guess, like self-discipline, they're screwed. Everyone's going to be a fat pig that's...
The price argument where I think is kind of flawed, and it's only because kind of insider data. My friend who is at Postmates, if you ordering Postmates, you're not in poverty, right?
Yeah.
You have
it's
smartphone, expensive. You're paying delivery fees. Everything that's being ordered is unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's McDonald's, it's pizza, it's burgers and fries. So you're talking about people of means are still choosing when you have unlimited options on Postmates. Yeah. You want to eat really healthy and eat like a fitness model? You can. You want to eat like a pig? You can. Yeah. And guess what everyone's doing? They're eating like pigs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And even if you looked at LA, it's not... When I say our bubble, I'm saying 4 miles. Yeah. LA County is a big ass place. It ain't all healthy.
4 miles might be a stretch.
Okay, 2.
Yeah.
I'm saying like maybe like La Cienega to
to Sunset. Okay, the other point that I wanted to just bring up out of that is to Anand's point. I agree. Like there are times now when I see old video, or maybe I go to a place where we used to hang out, and like the thought of hanging out with that many people without masks feels weird. It feels icky. Mm-hmm. And I want to, like, without hopefully being disgusting here, I know my parents listen, it reminds me of hookup life, like if you didn't know about condoms.
Yeah.
And then you realize one day, like, whoa, this whole time I've been having sex without condoms, and whoa.
Yeah.
It literally feels like every person you have a conversation with, you're having sex with without a condom if you don't have masks, and you're just hoping they don't have any diseases. So, it feels crazy. So the point is, do masks stick around with some crowd forever?
So some crowd for sure.
I'll tell you, for me, I have not gotten sick this year. Knock on wood.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay? I enjoy not having a cold. I enjoy not coughing, not sneezing, not getting the flu. And my experience, so yesterday I had to go to CVS, I had to go to a Rite Aid, and I had to go somewhere else to drop something off. I walked into all these places. I enjoyed everyone. And first of all, no one can see who you are. Yeah. I saw people I knew. They didn't know who I was.
I've done that a few times.
And that's amazing.
I've been in Chipotle with a pretty good friend of ours that didn't see me with my glasses and my mask.
Okay. So that alone, there's a reason to wear a mask.
Yeah.
2, it just feels more sanitary to me. Mm-hmm. And given that, like, I do care about my health, I don't care if you choose not to wear it. That's up to you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But like, there's in Asia, they've always had a mask culture.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to double, triple down on that.
Because think about it, you just didn't have the awareness of how exposed you were.
Yes.
Now you feel so exposed.
And then like, think about it. Do you really want to go back? Look, obviously, once there's a vaccine and things like that, we'll go back to restaurants, we'll go back to venues, concerts, whatever. But even like shaking a stranger's hand now,
Yeah. Just
knowing
raw
what I
dog
know
it,
about
you know?
germs and hygiene,
Yeah. Unprotected.
it's kind of wild to go
I'm
just
telling you,
randomly
bro.
touch
Right.
people's hands.
No, I hear
Random hands?
Imagine like you would have a group, I don't know, like a meeting or like you'd be at Delilah and hey, this is so-and-so. Shake, shake, shake. How's everyone doing? Ha, ha, ha. Cough, cough. Ha, ha, ha.
I remember meeting Howie Mandel
Yeah.
on the set of...
He was a visionary, man.
What was the show he did?
It was the daytime
Deal
show.
or No Deal? No, it was
No,
huge.
He had a daytime show too.
I know, but I think we met him when
I
he
think
was
Deal or
the
No Deal,
host
was that
of
right?
like
Yeah.
the show, and he would wear 5'4".
Yep.
So we go to the set, and his assistant came and goes, "Just want to let you know, Howie's very hygienic. He doesn't shake hands." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Look at you now.
And he would only do the bop,
Yep.
like a bump, fist bump. And now I'm like, man,
Fist bump feels sketchy.
yeah. I mean, I'm doing elbows.
I'm fist bumping only the closest of friends.
Yeah. You gotta be related to me. You gotta have blood to fist bump at this point.
It's wild, man. But I do think that for at least like the rest of our lives, I mean, maybe it dwindles, but there is a crowd that will always wear a mask.
I have no problem.
I think I definitely think in 2 years, if I have to fly somewhere, wearing a mask through the airport, like that's no question.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely on the flight with those.
And on the flight until I sit down, maybe once I sit down, I'd take off my mask.
Yeah.
when you have that third cocktail.
Yeah, then I get a little relaxed.
Sick of pulling it down to have your vodka soda.
No, but I mean, let's assume arenas are able to have people by the
Yeah.
end of next year. So am I going to a Laker game with the mask on for 4 quarters?
You
think
may
so.
you may wear it walking in, but you may feel comfortable sitting at. I don't know.
And it's so
Yeah.
geographic, right? Because we have a friend, we won't name his name. He was in Arizona this past 2 days, and now he's in Texas for the World Series.
Yep.
There's no mask policy. He
Zero.
texted us at the stadium.
Wild night.
He said, "I just did a lap without my mask."
and not just I mean, we're talking. It is a free for all.
It also depends. Like we can't guess where this thing lands, right? Like we can't guess when a vaccine comes and what it truly does, who takes it, blah blah blah. You
Yeah.
can't guess where the virus. I mean, also these viruses, from my knowledge, which is very limited, like tend to sort of taper off anyway. Like they just get less effective.
It already is, kind of, right?
Yeah. So like if by next year, maybe if you do get it, it is truly just the flu. I don't know, but it just feels like it has changed the way that we look at our exposure
Yeah.
to germs. Okay. It's time to talk about it. Joe Rogan, Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
So this finally happened. I didn't think, they tweeted about it a week ago. I think Kanye said, Joe Rogan said I could design the set for the podcast. I didn't think it would ever happen. It did. They sat down for 3 hours. This thing comes on, I think it was Saturday. Jump right into it. I think insanely risky. I jumped into it with like almost a sense of anxiety because like Kanye West in front of a microphone for 3 hours is very dangerous. And I think Joe even kind of alluded to that on some of his shows. Like, I don't think this is the right platform for him. We all watched pretty much the whole thing.
Yep.
Maybe 15 minutes here or there. What was your thoughts?
I agree. It could have gotten a lot worse.
Yep.
I actually think if you're middle of the road, if you're an obsessed Kanye fan, it's exactly, he delivered.
Yep, delivered.
He delivered for you. If you're a middle of the road Kanye fan, I think he delivered for you too.
Yep.
I
I think he
think-
cleaned up any doubt. Like,
Yes.
not doubt or like unease of kind of liking Kanye
Yeah.
still. I think he's like, see, he's a good guy.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you my perspective. So I'm I don't listen to his music anymore.
Yep.
Which is really, really crazy to me.
Intentionally, you don't listen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like go out of the way not to. If the song just pops up, I'm not like turning the station.
Yeah.
But like I make playlists
Yeah, you have music on in your house all day.
all day, every day. I make playlists, and I just leave his music off.
Yep.
Because it just has rubbed me the wrong way.
Yep.
And me as someone that I would say I'm critical of him, I'm still blown away of what he's done, but I'm very critical of his most recent actions. My view is if he had the ability to stay out of politics and stay out of that conversation, I think he looks like a genius.
Yeah.
The problem is when he brings his religion and then politics and then kind of almost wants to force it on people.
Yeah.
That's when he loses me. We're like, for example, there was Joe Rogan wanted to talk about running for president.
Yeah, he really tried.
He kept pushing.
He really tried to give him a shot.
And if it was just Kanye, the musician or the artist or the creative, I can look at him in this lens and be like, wow, this guy thinks so differently. And I understand. And even every single one of his references, even when he's talking about like, political stuff, he'd be like, well, Donda had Virgil and Givenchy and Matthew Williams. And they're like, if you're just a run-of-the-mill fan, you're like, what is he talking about?
No clue.
Where's the policy?
I mean, his references to designers and shit, I had no idea who he was
Honestly, can we just all admit he's a complete sham?
No, but
he's an absolute sham. I listened to pretty much all of it.
So
he has no coherent thought. He thinks he's a genius. He's not. All his facts are wrong. He said only 1 billion people have the internet. 4.57 billion people have access to the internet.
Yeah.
That is 60% of the world. And when you take out kids under 10, that's probably like 90% of the world.
I know, but here's the difference. If he had just been Kanye, the rapper, the musician, and not the politician.
Forget politician. He's not even a philosopher. He's not even equipped with facts. None of this shit checks out.
No, the facts
it's
are
all
horrible.
bullshit, and it's just buzzwords. Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, Tesla. Great.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. My
what
problem
are you
is
saying?
I think that he this was my biggest takeaway is when I listen to someone like, and I don't want to get ripped apart for this, but like a Naval or like a Chamath or like whatever. Those guys to me are geniuses.
Yeah.
Those guys to me are guys
geniuses.
that can envision and have a conversation about the future and maybe how it could get done and what the structural problems are to get that done.
Yeah.
To me, Kanye is a guy who rants like he is that smart, and the people around him, no one tells him like, well, that's not really possible.
No one's challenging him.
4 billion people have the internet. No one says that.
Yeah.
So he truly thinks he is one of those guys.
So the problem is
his whole riff on, he kept saying riff, right?
Yeah.
His whole riff on the only 1 billion people have internet. We're robbing the world of education. You're literally wrong.
Yeah.
And give me step one of how you would go about actually getting more people internet. Where Chamath or Naval would give you a fucking brilliant
but here's my
rant.
point.
He's like, we just need it, man. They're holding us down. That's what killed Bob Marley. And you're like, whoa.
So here's the thing.
Just keep making beats. Keep making songs.
So you want him to shut up and dribble.
So
yes.
So here's my point. If it was Kanye the musician, if it was Kanye the musician, just talking, because so I can look at it in two ways. I can look at it the way Anand looked at it, where I'm just like, oh my God, why are you talking about this stuff? You have no idea what you're talking about.
Every 10 minutes is Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, and these dumbass kids are like, he's Disney's Jobs.
I know. I did. There was part of it that I was watching. I was like, kids are falling for this, man.
Oh yeah, because I went through all the comments.
Yeah.
And it's your 20-something-year-old male that
you say Disney, Jobs, and Tesla, you get any 20-year-old in the world.
And it's from Kanye. My problem is there are people, and once again, I want to be careful here too, but there's people having these debates publicly, and there's better people that a young, curious person could be listening to.
Yeah.
But Kanye sucks up all that airtime, and they're like, Kanye's the next Elon.
But
it's like, no, there's actually places you can tune into those conversations, and they're really great.
Yeah, and the problem is, and this is why, why there's such a gap in information is because it's the loudest voice in the room. It'll always be that. It's why Donald Trump is winning.
Yep.
Kanye's just a version of that.
Yep.
He's just toned his voice down a little bit, so it sounds more rational coming out of his mouth. The real my thing is like, if I look at it just as a creative, I'm like my creative hat on, and when he references things. Forget the internet. Whenever he gets anything to do with policy or politics, I tune out. I can't even listen to it. But when he's talking about anything creative, I understand what he's talking about, and I appreciate that part of his brain.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant.
So can you explain to me what he was talking about with the shoe? I couldn't get it. He was saying like the tongue, the shoe.
He was just saying that he, number one, wants to be able to he hates hype culture, which he is like
He
godfather.
He created it.
Yeah.
And all of his old music is all about creating it and loving it and whatever. He's essentially saying that he found a way to make this shoe domestically. He can sell it for $20. It's not a hype thing. Everyone can get it. It's revolutionary because your tongue pushes against your ankle as opposed to going with the form of it. It was...
So that shoe, just so you know, the brilliant of it is, it's a Croc. You know, like the Croc shoe? He came out with his EVA
And
shoe.
is it really $20?
No, it's under 100.
But that's
it's
my
not
problem,
20.
right?
But so then he's
It's
just
like,
lying.
Yeah.
He's saying it will
That's
be.
why I think he's a sham.
Yeah.
Because he knows he can say whatever he wants. He knows he can go on Joe Rogan. He can go on Letterman. He can go everywhere he wants. He's no different than Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Because he knows everyone's going to tune in.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that drove me nuts is he has been going crazy about this own your masters thing. And he even ties it into like slavery references. Yeah. Currently, Big Sean is speaking out, doing records, doing tweets that Kanye owns his masters and owes him money for his good music deal.
Yeah.
So you're on there saying, I'm going to change the
There's
world.
the sham.
My masters, this is slavery. And you are currently doing it to all of your artists.
Let's just agree. He's a sham.
I mean, this is my honest
He's full
opinion.
of shit, man.
I want to say
That's what I
sham,
think.
but here's what I'm saying. As a musician, he's a genius.
Yes,
As
agreed.
a designer,
He's a genius.
he's a genius. And if
That's
he
why he's a
would
creative. You have to leave. Let's take this perspective. This is how I was able to even watch it. I was like, I don't care about your politics. I'm not a religious person. I cannot relate to anything you believe politically because I think it's bullshit. But as just a person that enjoyed who you are as a creative, I can listen to you for 3 hours. Because if it was I'm here to be analytical and critical, that I couldn't even after the first fucking question, he's like, so you're running for president? And then he went on a tangent. Yeah. I was like, this is bullshit. If this is anyone else, I would have turned this shit off.
But let me ask you this. Will you ever listen to that again?
The interview?
Yeah.
No. I couldn't.
So that's my point,
and
right?
here's
it's not interesting to see inside the mind of a madman.
Yeah.
But is there anything of value there that you're going to listen back and be like, whoa, what did he say about how to redesign schools? Like, no, because it didn't lead anywhere.
Because I'll tell you the problem is that when I read through the comments, and this is making complete speculation, complete generalization, I'm guessing the person that was wowed by this Kanye interview are the people that do not understand who the real brilliant minds of our time are. Yeah. Right? Like, the problem is he's sensationalized and fooled everyone into thinking is brilliant. And then when I listened to this professor on Scott Galloway's podcast from I think he was Emory University. Yeah. I mean, fucking brilliant. Yeah. Like, I'm just sitting here listening and I'm like literally writing notes down. I never write notes down.
Exactly. That's something you would listen to over again.
I literally
had
to listen to it because I was like, man, this guy, the way he's thinking about the world is so different. Yeah. And I just struggle with people that are just going out there and just selling you a dream or a story.
With no practical knowledge.
Because here's the danger. The danger is he clearly is a musical genius and he's a design genius. Yep. We all agree on that. Yep. But the problem is he thinks he's this persona that can speak on topics with authority that young people are following. Yeah. And so he's leading an entire generation astray because he's good at music and because he's good at clothes and sneakers, he thinks he's being enabled. All the tech people he referenced, I know. I know all these people.
Yeah, the Y Combinator.
I know the wedding he was at. I know exactly which wedding he was at. When he talks about about Bitcoin, I'm an investor in Fred's fund. Yeah. I know all these people. Yeah. Everyone's enabling him because they just want to hang out with him.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And nobody will talk bad about him in that circle.
No. I think two things. I think number one, the same people that think Donald Trump can turn this country around economically because he's a brilliant businessman are the same people that think Kanye West, same type of people, not the same crowd, that think Kanye West is the next Elon Musk, right? It's just, you just don't know the actual information. And so he positions himself as this brilliant businessman. You believe it. He must be the most amazing businessman ever, right? I also think that
I'm a genius, so I know how to identify other geniuses.
And he said he's never made the wrong decision when he's given all the information.
Yeah, exactly. That's his policy. That's why you should vote for him. Yeah. The other thing is, I think that he, I I think it's an interesting case study in what happens when someone is just too fucking famous
Yeah.
and too rich and too big of a celebrity. Like,
No one will
tells
check.
him no.
Yeah.
And he's been called a genius and a revolutionary for like his music videos and his shoe designs. And so, of course, in his world, that starts to bleed into, well, let me see what I could do about politics. Let me see what I could do about religion. Let me see what, and everyone around him, even these really brilliant people are like, yeah, Kanye, yeah, that'd be sick. And then they leave and say, that guy's a fucking psycho.
Exactly.
And so in his little world, he's making hundreds of millions of dollars. Everyone's telling him yes. The smartest people in the world want to hang out with him and tell him he's right. Like, this is what you get.
Yeah.
You know?
And the problem is like, so there's obviously a lot of very wealthy people on earth, and I'm sure they all have some sort of massive ego and God complex or whatever it is. I think the nature of, I just don't understand why he's like this, but who's a counterpart of Kanye's? Why isn't Jay-Z like this?
I think that Jay-Z is he's built so different. I think Kanye is so wildly insecure.
Yeah.
I think he always has been. I think that the death of his mom was like really tragic on him.
Yeah.
And I think he's a lot more of like a loose cannon and needs, he surround, you know, people like that. They surround themselves with people that are going to say yes. Because the people that say no, that's too intrusive. I think Jay-Z is a brilliant
He's a businessman.
Like a hustler businessman that surrounds himself with the brightest people and asks them to challenge him and tries to find the truth. Like, I just think they're built totally different.
Yeah, I just think, but there's a lot of celebrities who are very, very wealthy.
Well, it's like they say, being a celebrity or making a bunch of money just magnifies your character. It doesn't change it, right?
Yeah.
So I just think people are different, and you have the Jay-Z's and you have the Kanye's, and even though they seem side by side, they're worlds different of personalities.
Yeah.
And the money just magnified who they are.
And the bad lesson that's being learned by young people that worship him is do whatever you want. You're like, that's not how the world works.
Yeah.
We all know this. You need to learn a skill, and if you get a job, you need to show up and do your job. You don't tell your boss to fuck off.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not how you get ahead in
No.
life. Like, there are certain people where the rules don't apply. Those are 0.001%. Kanye is one of those people.
Yeah.
Rules don't apply to him because he's made, these records.
Because you're a brilliant musician.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I hate about these conversations. It's like the rules don't not apply to him because he's brilliant as an inventor and a creator. He's a fucking superstar musician.
This is Donald Trump.
That's why
though.
the rules don't apply.
Donald Trump, there's this facade that he is a billionaire.
Yeah.
So the rules don't apply to him. He didn't, if any other presidential candidate had a sex scandal, like the amount of sex scandals this guy's had, he would not be president. If anyone had any wrong business dealings, he would not be president. This is the culture we live in. If you have achieved God status in whatever sector that you're in, that gives you a pass for everything.
That's the flaw.
That's that. And then if you start pontificating that this is how you got to live your life, it's just a bad lesson.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my other statement. There was a real genius in the room, a real future billionaire in the room. Joe fucking Rogan, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to bro out for any of you who don't listen to Joe Rogan. I know even these guys before the thing, they were like, "Oh, Joe Rogan, fucking, what are you, a kickboxer?"
Yeah. I thought Joe Rogan was Dana White. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, a lot of people did. I mean, even Kanye West said, "You're a pro fighter." Everyone always says that. He's not a pro fighter by any means. He's a
I literally
commentator.
thought it was the same guy.
Yeah. So I think we saw Dana White in Cabo one time, and you're like, "Oh, that was Joe Rogan."
Yeah, I did say that.
Why did Joe Rogan come say hi to you? He's a freaking genius.
I'll tell you the most brilliant part about Joe Rogan and why he's so underrated. So Kanye is going on these rants, and I think he mentioned Bruce and Brendan Lee, and how they both died.
They were both
and
murdered.
Kanye said they were murdered. I don't know the story of how Bruce Lee died. I don't know how the story of Brendan Lee died.
Joe does.
Joe says, no, actually, Bruce died of this disease. Brendan died of this disease. And I'm sitting there.
Even Bob Marley. He had
staph infection.
Cancer.
That one. And then he was like, I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, the level of information Joe Rogan has that a guy like, and the thing about it is, if let's say it was Leslie Stahl in 60 Minutes, she'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Bruce Lee didn't die like, they would attack because they do not stand for traditional journalists. We're not going to sit there and let you fucking lie and just let you get a pass.
Yeah, he played a line there.
Who's the CNN guy? Jake Tapper or Cuomo?
Yeah, they're gotcha journalism.
I mean,
Yes.
the line of knowing what he was talking about, knowing he was wrong, and not challenging
Yes.
him is like,
and
he's
called him out.
perfected it. And I've listened to enough Joe Rogan. I know you listen to it more than I do. That he can do that with everyone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't
absolutely.
even matter.
That's what's crazy.
He
And
did it
can
with
literally-
Snowden. He did it with.
He does it with Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Who's a lunatic?
Naval, Elon, Kanye West. Like, it's insane.
I figured out what it is.
What?
So, when he's sitting there quietly, below his desk is just 100 million. 100 million. Just don't lose your cool.
Yeah.
Just has his bank
Just
account.
relax.
And
No,
then he just-
The viewers and the ad revenue.
He's like,
and-
this is a $40 million ad.
I mean, if Howard Stern just re-signed it wasn't the news that Howard Stern just re-signed for $120 million a year. Then that means Joe Rogan's worth $500 million a year.
More.
That's minimum. I mean,
Minimum.
he's like a media conglomerate in of itself.
Yeah.
Spotify
because-
stole him.
Yeah, they stole him.
and
I
the fact that no one cares, meaning like he's this universal. Like if Kanye West goes on Joe Rogan, hip hop fans are going to listen, streetwear kids are going to listen, right wing people are going to listen,
Everyone's gonna
Trumpers.
listen.
Like there's no. It's not like, oh, I didn't see that because it was like an interview with fucking The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Like it's the whole world can listen to it.
Yeah.
I think his command and library of information that he has is just astonishing.
It's also
And his
temperament.
ability to not. Yeah, he doesn't
And
try
he-
to act smart.
So, and that was what I always used to tell you. I was like, I
Yeah.
figured out his gift. It's that he's actually a genius, but comes across like average Joe.
Yeah.
And he plays this like,
Average Joe Rogan.
I have
Yeah.
all the information,
Yeah.
but I just say shit, fuck this, that a little bit, and
Yeah.
it kind of like.
And there's no ego to it.
Yeah, there's no
I feel
ego
like
to it.
anyone with that much information loves.
Well-
like if you love that you know something Kanye West doesn't, you're gonna like. There's gonna be a little extra.
And that's what it was. Like you going through the thing, and Joe Rogan would bring out some information, and he didn't derail Kanye because you know what's easy
Yeah.
to do with Kanye?
Yeah.
Get him stoked. He gets his voice raised and he's getting angry, and then the interview's over.
Yeah.
It's like not going to be good anymore.
Yeah.
But instead, he's like, "Oh yeah, maybe Bruce Lee maybe was murdered. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he had this disease."
yeah. And here's the other great thing. You know you have unlimited time.
Yeah,
So if Kanye wants to rant, that's Kanye's interview.
yeah.
He's gonna rant. Some people might ask more questions. Some people, but you're not like. It's not like 60 minutes. We need this 60-minute slot.
Yeah.
We got to fill it. We got to keep it up. It's like fuck it. He wants to talk.
That was actually, I thought, the only downside of the interview is I wish Joe Rogan talked more.
Yeah, but he won't. I don't think he really does that. It's like this is Kanye.
Yeah.
This is him. I sat and had a conversation with Kanye. This is how you have a conversation with Kanye.
he's not.
Because I heard the Mike Tyson, Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
and it was so fascinating to see Joe Rogan pick apart Tyson's brain.
Yeah.
Because Tyson's also a boxing genius.
Yep.
And the way he thinks about fighting and stuff. And I was like, I wish he just kind of
Yeah.
maneuvered a little more to.
Yeah. It was just that Tyson, I think, was open to it. I think that Joe knows, even if it's subconsciously, that if as soon as you start to disrupt that, you lose your interview.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have to. They are who they are. We have 3 hours. This is Kanye West.
Yeah.
You know, here's a look inside. And that's what the only thing I agree. It was kind of boring at times, and I will never watch it again.
Yeah.
But I do like that you have now preserved on video. This is Kanye
Yeah.
Yeah. a
without
sham.
being poked or prodded or you
Yeah,
know,
and that's
this
the thing,
is-
'cause-
this is what it's like to talk to him.
Because you know why? If he had gone on Breakfast Club, those guys would have antagonized him.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
They would have been
like
like, where were you
clip.
at Black Lives Matter?
Yeah.
Where were you?
Yeah.
I didn't see you do this. I didn't see you do that. And then it would have. Then he would have been like got defensive.
Yeah.
And he would have said what he had to do. Instead, you just got in. I think Joe Rogan gets in the mind without like. He's very smart about this is my guest and Post Malone, you're a weirdo. You want to talk aliens? Cool. We'll just talk aliens
And do
for 3 hours.
mushrooms. And I was looking at download numbers for all the things, and that like obviously the Elon ones are some of the highest. That Post Malone one was incredibly high view, like 12 million just on YouTube. And even though for us it was
It's
kind of like,
unintelligible.
what the fuck are these guys talking about? Once again,
Ziggy.
It's Ziggy. It's Post Malone on mushrooms talking to Joe Rogan. Like that's locked in forever. That's what makes it different.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that he did the interview. He is I mean, if you are a big talent, he's just where you have to go.
I just don't get why. Like, think about the fact that his ads are still like YouTube ad rolls,
Yeah,
and his pre-reads are like still fucking Manscaped.
yeah.
Still talking about shaving balls.
He doesn't have Coca-Cola giving him.
He needs a CEO.
Why is it not like you?
What
This
is
should
the
be
Joe
$1
Rogan
billion
operation?
a year.
Is there a CEO?
I'm sure that there is. I know that there's a manager. I know there's an engineer. But I know that there's got to be some like.
I'm telling
There's
you,
got to be a suit, right?
There's a suit.
Here's the problem: is that his rates are probably so high. I don't think a brand could appreciate paying that rate. Where Manscaped is like, okay, we're gonna get 6,000 customers this week.
But what's Manscaped paying?
No, but I think
Like
no, but
Whoop and Manscaped.
Yeah,
they're the biggest media platform in the
dude,
world right
you know
now.
what the
and you have fucking
like Bill Simmons, his ads now are Subway. They're like, big ass brands.
Yeah.
It's not Whoop and Manscaped.
No, man, it's so weird. I don't know, but I think if Howard Stern is worth 120, Joe's worth $1 billion a year.
Yeah.
Cash.
And this is something Howard Stern really created, which is like, there is no time limit. Like, I remember listening to Howard Stern, and the guy would be like, oh, can I hang? We're on for 4 more hours. If you want to hang. And so, like, Joe Rogan has now made that totally acceptable, where, like, there's no limit. You could do 14 episodes a week. You could do 2 episodes a week. You can do 3 hours. This is how people want to consume media.
Yeah.
Don't put limits. That's why Netflix was so brilliant.
Yeah.
You want all the fucking 32 episodes today? We have it. Watch
And there's
it
no
all.
schedule. There's nothing. Usually when like Elon goes on, Kanye, he teased a little bit, but when Elon goes on, they're just on.
Yeah.
It's just live on YouTube and like, oh, fuck, here this is.
Yeah.
And just think about the type of person, like what other type of person could create a platform that diverse group of people would even want to go on and not be turned off by the others.
Yeah. It's not polarizing. He's a very underappreciated.
He's probably the most talented person in media right now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone close.
Okay. So I would just say, if you're a young person, you have a choice to choose one of those 2 people to be a genius and follow for the next 5 years, I would choose Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I had to vote for president between the 2, it'd be obviously Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Before we even get into news, talk about the UFC fight, because I'm sure you watched it.
Yeah, UFC fight. So that was another huge. I was going to slip that into the COVID talk. Huge fight. Khabib versus Justin Gaethje, and
He beat the shit out
So
of him,
you tuned in at noon or whenever it was.
Yeah.
11 a.m.
11 a.m. is when the main
I think
card.
Khabib was at like 1 or something.
Yeah, 1:30 I think is when it came on. It was pretty nuts because the
How are
story.
you consuming that on your phone?
No,
Are
he
you
puts it
watch-
on his TV.
TV.
Streams on his TV.
ESPN.
ESPN Plus had a pay-per-view
Okay.
purchase, right?
Yeah. So, look, trying to condense it.
So did you have food, drinks? Did you set it up like a big fight?
I was by myself. I had coffee and just chilling. Okay, so long story short is this. Khabib is this like just dominator, can't be beaten. I think he's 29-0.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who famously beat Conor McGregor and then jumped into the crowd and started beating up all his trainers.
Yep.
He's just this unstoppable force. He's also canceled, I think, the last 2 or 3 fights. He's like very elusive. You can't get him, whatever. But he's this. The argument is he the best pound for pound fighter in his class ever? He's that good. This is his toughest competitor. If anyone's going to beat him, this guy's going to beat him. A lot of people are saying this is the guy. They go in. The big kicker is his dad, Khabib's dad, who has trained him since he was 15 or whatever, died of corona.
Of corona?
Yes.
Oh my God.
In the summer.
No way.
Yes. And so everyone knew that. This guy was with him at every fight, trained him since he was a kid. This was his dream, was for Khabib to be world champion. So this is the first fight without his dad.
But he was already world champion.
Yeah, but his dad wanted him. I think his dad had like these visions of like you could really, like this big level. So he goes in, destroys the guy, right? Second round, whatever. Chokes him out. Then falls on the ground, tells his team, no, chill. Falls on the ground in the middle of the ring, is bawling, crying, stands up, takes his gloves off in his post-fight speech. I retire. My dad, my mom told me she wanted me to stop fighting. I couldn't fight without my dad. I told my mom this was my last fight. Let me just have this one last fight and then I will retire. I fought. I'm done. I'm not fighting without my dad.
Real quick question. That blonde hair, that's his hair?
No. That's like some sort of Russian hat.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Russian?
He has a shaved head.
Okay.
He has
Because
a
I
shaved
saw this video of this blonde hair guy. I
So,
was like,
No.
couple questions. I don't know UFC at all, but everything I read is that he's the greatest fighter of all time.
Arguably.
What about fuck you?
No, they say he beat
He's
his
way
ass.
better than Fukyu. He destroyed Fukyu. Yeah.
And then second question, is this the equivalent, because it seems like he's in his peak, is this equivalent of Michael Jordan leaving after the first 3 titles?
This would be the equivalent. Yeah, I would say
Because
probably.
I saw someone put the picture up. It was like Jordan after the 3rd title and Khabib crying on the ground.
Yeah, I would say after the first, was it the first 3 or was their first run?
Yeah.
Like, wow,
And then
holy
he
fuck.
left
then he
for
came
2
back
years.
and got more. Okay, yes. I would say right at the end of those first 3, if he was like, my dad passed away, can't do it without
Which
my dad.
really would happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if he would have said, I'm out of here, my dad took me to all my practices, I'm out, promise my mom wouldn't play without my dad. That's what it's like. And everyone says, look, I mean, a lot of fighters, this is big in UFC. I mean, Conor McGregor is technically retired right now.
Yeah.
A lot of fighters retire and then come back. But everyone's saying they don't think he will because it's like family, it's this, their culture is very, he promised his mom, whatever. So pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it looked like he could have killed the guy from the clip I saw.
He messed him up, man. The other guy didn't really, I mean, he kind of hung in there a little bit, but it wasn't even a question.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But COVID. When the guy's dad died of COVID.
That's fucking crazy.
Okay, so that's our sports take. And then we got to talk about quickly, because I guess it's now kind of dated, but 2 other guys that sat down and had a little discussion. The I guess by the numbers, the first biggest one-on-one discussion of the week. Final debate.
Yep.
I got to be honest. On this one, I just watched clips.
I didn't even watch clips. I didn't watch it because we were going to do the Friday recap on it. It's like, what time do you want to do it? I'm like, I literally did not turn it on.
So who won?
Khabib.
Yes, correct. Did you watch anything?
Yeah, I
Dana
watched
White.
it. I thought pretty much to sum it up, Trump just couldn't be a bully because they could turn the mics off.
Yeah.
So it was actually just a discussion about no policy with no theatrics. It was actually really stupid.
Yeah. It was a lot of like...
the viewership dipped like 15%.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like if you want to fact check, like the lies were through the roof from Trump, and it doesn't even matter.
It looked to me like it was just an accuse off.
Yeah.
Like what you did versus what we did. Like, yeah, I locked up kids in cages, but you guys built the cages. Yeah, I took money. I have a Chinese bank account, but you did business with Russia. Like, right?
Yeah, it was stupid.
Yeah,
it's pretty boring.
I do think, though, to me, like if I had to guess, I think Biden wins. Once again, wouldn't be shocked if Trump did, but I do think Biden wins. And I also think these debates helped Biden like massively.
Yes.
I thought hiding in the basement and then going to these debates and getting smoked was going to be, okay, Biden's over. He held himself really well.
Yeah.
He has little stumbles here and there, but
for the most part, he was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like the one thing I was waiting for after the debate, I fell asleep, but they had in North Carolina undecided voters. I wanted to hear what these geniuses had to say. The undecided crowd. But,
Josh's friends.
Yeah.
Okay. And 63 million people watched.
Yep.
So
down from 75 about for the first one.
I think people made up their minds, right?
I mean,
come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
You really tuning in to see who you're going to vote for next week?
I mean, I saw in Beverly Hills yesterday probably the biggest Trump rally we've had in a long time.
Yeah, they're going hard in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened to Offset?
Yeah.
Offset got caught up in it, I guess.
Yeah, so he got arrested. I don't know if they got booked, but I think they tried to arrest him. All I saw was a picture of him.
But his friend had a gun?
So
it was Cardi B's cousin had a gun.
Yeah.
With him.
And that's what I read. I was reading as much as I could. It wasn't clear if Offset was in the same car as the guy with the gun. Was it a different car? It's really unclear, at least as of now. We're taping it Sunday afternoon. Like
the press try to make it seem like they were driving near Trumpers and they waved the gun and then they detained the car. And
then he was streaming it, right?
Yeah, and Offset said, do you know who I am? These people are following me because I'm famous, not because of any. They're not trying to like rob me or anything.
But then there's a Cardi B cousin gun thing.
Cardi B's cousin has a gun. What was a big surprise?
But also, I mean, isn't it kind of believable too that maybe people were like taunting him because they knew who he was, and he was like, "Hey, check this out.
Yeah,
I have a gun."
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's video. Everyone has. The thing is when they're the picture of him talking to the police. In the background, there's like all these Trump flags.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's really wild.
Yeah.
The scene of Offset in like his Rolls Royce or whatever, in Beverly Hills, in handcuffs with Trumpers behind him. It looks like a music video he's shooting.
It's just madness what's going on. And I'm sure this is in every city, but like proper Beverly Hills in front of the sign.
Yeah.
It's just every Saturday. And
Why are they doing Beverly Hills just to piss off the liberal elites
in the neighborhood?
LA?
Yeah,
Because
good question.
those aren't locals.
Because it gets coverage because
Yeah.
it's Beverly Hills. If it was Woodland Hills,
Yeah.
no one's going to
Not
pay
the same
attention.
impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and they're not wearing masks. I mean, just super spreading events. That's what it is.
I mean, just even after the debate, the one thing I noticed was everyone, the moment the debate's over, throws on their mask. The wives come up.
Yeah.
Trump is the only one without it.
Yeah. You know what? Real quickly, I saw something trending this morning on Twitter. Fake Melania. So there's been
I've seen that.
there's been a lot of rumors that when Melania isn't available, there's like a body
stand-in.
double.
Yeah.
And so today, a picture. I think they were walking out of the helicopter, and they show a picture of Melania and Trump, and everyone said that Melania has been staying put on it, not traveling.
Yeah.
Because of COVID and whatever. This picture of this woman that looks like Melania, so that picture is all over the internet, and they're just side by side. It is definitely a different woman.
Really?
Yes.
So
Unless
you
she
believe,
lost like 20 pounds.
so you believe there's a fake Melania?
I mean, of course, this guy, he thinks it's a TV show.
Yeah. No,
He's
I'm
producing a show.
not saying you're wrong, and this isn't full QAnon, but QAnon. But I don't know. Yeah, I've seen it too. It looks kind of questionable.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, good for them with the whole mask thing. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah. Then she could stay home and the fake Melania can go.
Okay. What about the real Hunter Biden having a sex tape? Is that real?
He's going to town.
Does he have a sex tape?
So there's like this shady
Poor
videos.
Hunter, man. This is all coming out. There's nothing on Joe, so you're just going to just destroy Hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's wearing like some dog tag going to town on some woman.
And is it confirmed him? Like, I mean, can you see his face?
I only saw the picture. I didn't want to sit and watch the video.
It's interesting.
Pete's not here.
Yeah. Our resident
porn watcher.
fact checker on sex tapes isn't here.
But is it being treated that it is definitely him?
Yeah, and it's somehow the video is also linked to Steve Bannon, that he may have been the source of it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this is the time, right? I mean,
So let me ask you a question.
That's the problem, that they're just reaching right now.
Yeah.
Like going after Hunter Biden, like, sorry, no one in the Midwest who's going to determine the election
Yeah,
cares
they don't
about
care.
what Hunter Biden's doing.
that's all you got.
I mean, no one voting for Biden, yes. Maybe voting for Trump, they love it.
Yeah, they just laugh about it.
Yeah.
It gives them a funny line to say at the rallies.
I think that what the interesting thing is they're obviously trying to draw the connection that Joe Biden knew that Hunter Biden was doing these deals and he
And
was
they
going to
got
benefit.
rich. That's all Trump was
Yeah.
saying in the last debate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
But
that's
that's too abstract, I think, for...
yeah. I think that you can't prove that. If you can't prove that connection, then there's no. Show me a bank account. Show
Plus,
me
if he
something.
could stand on, like, Joe Biden had emails, looked like he was making money from
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
But the son is too far removed for...
Yeah, like the Hillary Clinton emails were Hillary Clinton emails.
Yeah.
and the same
No way
thing-
around that.
Yeah, and the same with
If it was
Donald
Chelsea,
Trump's
who cares?
business dealings are Donald Trump's business dealings.
Yeah.
So those are to be questioned. Whereas like you're hoping Hunter Biden, there's a smoking gun there
Yeah.
with a links Joe Biden to it.
There was one part of the debate, one clip I saw that I really loved, where he was like, look, I read this, blah, blah, blah. It says in these emails, Joe, they got to give 10% to the big man, and you're the big man. I think you're the big man. I don't know, Joe. Are you the big man? Maybe you're not. I think it's just really funny.
Just accusing him of fucking taking bribes.
This is so good. Then when it comes to voting, it looks like, I mean, what I've seen online is like early turnouts
Yeah.
through the roof. I saw one of New York
Yeah.
the other day. Like, was that at Madison Square Garden? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just lines and lines and lines. And they were talking about, we haven't been to New York, obviously, but they were saying New York in general has been like pretty much a ghost town.
Yeah.
And people are coming out. So you think we got record numbers?
I was reading an article about the turnout in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly 40% of registered voters have already voted. This is as of Thursday. And nearly 90% of those votes have been cast in person.
How much of this is COVID related versus just excitement to get your vote in?
I think, but what part, if you're voting in person, what is that COVID related?
Because you don't want to deal with lines of election day? I don't know.
I mean,
I
there's
think you
lines
should-
right
Yeah,
now.
I think you're showing up and there's lines anyway, and you're like, fuck it. I think it's excitement. I think
Yeah.
people are like,
People haven't
Whatever
done
it is.
anything in a while. It's very similar to the protest.
Yeah.
I haven't left my house. I haven't done anything. I'm going to go protest. Now, I haven't left my house yet.
Yeah.
You know, one
Yeah.
thing that
Yeah.
Joe Rogan pointed out, and this is obviously why he's brilliant. He was like, if you wear an I vote sticker, you're likely liberal. And
Yeah.
if you have American flag, you're likely a Trumper.
Yeah. It's so true.
It's crazy.
Well,
So true.
the other thing I think they both kind of touched on was only people encouraging voting are liberals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like you're not seeing the encouragement of, because it's not in conservatives' best interest to encourage voting. We know that doesn't bode well for their results.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. But it looks crazy. It looks like I don't know. It looks pretty record breaking.
I mean, even Pete voted like 2.5 weeks ago.
You did?
I was his witness for
Really?
his absentee ballot.
All right. If Pete's voting, numbers
Yeah.
are through the roof.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
it made it all the way to Pete.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's this Ian Bremmer quote? He's saying 40% of my country will vote for Trump no matter what. I refuse to vilify them, but I'm not joining in. Here's why. Did he have an interesting take on this?
He had a nice video that Anand shared. Ian Bremmer is what kind of political kind
He's
of
like a
guru.
foreign. Specializes in foreign policy.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own think tank called the Eurasia Group, and he's a pretty objective guy.
Yeah.
When I hear him talk about,
He's
all
not been
worldviews.
objective on Trump, though, to be fair.
But he explains why he's been objective on Trump.
He's anti-Trump?
No, he ends the video why he doesn't. He's like, I voted for Republicans, I voted for Democrats in my lifetime. The reason why he's anti-Trump is because of just sheer incompetence.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, it has nothing to do with policy and politics. It's just like when you have an incompetent leader, nothing's going to get done.
Yep.
It doesn't even matter what your worldview is.
Yep.
So what he explains is all the different types of folks that are going to vote for Trump. And this is why. So he starts with the evangelical Christians.
Okay.
And he's like, it kind of answers what we've always been asking, like, how can you support him? They're like, look, forget Trump, the person.
Yep.
If you look at what Trump the administration's done, is they've packed judicial courts with federal judges that hold conservative values.
Yep.
So anti-abortion, maybe whatever evangelical Christian values are conservative values, right?
Yeah.
Then he goes down the line. If you're a wealthy person, he's deregulated businesses. He's lowered taxes.
Yeah.
That's another group that's going to vote for him. Then you have just straight up people that
Are racist.
are racist, that
Yeah.
their communities now have immigrants, now have refugees in their neighborhoods, and they're like, we don't want this.
Yeah.
Not in my backyard.
Yeah.
And then you have and what he's actually on a mission, and he's been tweeting about it, and I actually think it's the right view. He's like, the liberal people that would be up in arms if you were to mock Hispanics and black people are mocking the rural working class.
Yeah.
And that's equally as wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rural working class that is voting for Trump, and you have all these liberal elites calling them idiots and dumbasses and fuckboys and you're morons.
Yeah.
It's like no different
He didn't
than...
use the word fuckboys.
No, I'm saying...
No, that's our word.
That's
Yeah.
we're not as smart as the foreign policy think tank. I'm trying to Joe Rogan it. But he's just saying, like, you're doing exactly what you criticize
Yeah.
the far right of doing.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And that's why we are where we are, because you have liberal elites that are educated, that claim they hold these liberal values, they're all progressives, but they're mocking
Yeah.
an entire portion of the country because they're so stupid, quote unquote, for voting for Trump.
So he's very specific. It's white, uneducated
Yeah.
people. That's the population that he feels is really being alienated, because he does talk about economic prosperity and saying that, like, the uneducated white worker obviously has been left behind
Yeah.
over the last 10 years. And so, if you don't include them in your conversation,
Yeah.
but you include...
But here's my difference.
Yeah.
My difference is, if you're the racist person, you're saying that these people are inherently stupid because of their race, or inherently lesser because of their race. I have made fun of Trump voters. What I'm saying is, these idiots are in a bad way and they think this is the way out, and you're stupid for thinking.
No, but okay.
So I think what he's saying.
I'm not saying white, rural, like you guys are just idiots by nature.
So then the assumption you're making is that all rural working class people are racist,
which isn't
true. No.
Right?
No, but isn't he comparing racists to us for making fun of Trump voters? Isn't he saying we are similar?
Mocking rural working class people, not all Trump voters. So there's videos of like a liberal person screenshotting a picture of some like poor white neighborhood with MAGA 2020, and they're like, "How's it going, you maggots?" And he's like, "Guys, you have to stop. You can't criticize these just because they're voting for Trump and you're calling them morons. It's no different than if someone." What did Trump say about the Mexican judge in 2016? It's like no different, right?
Yeah. But we've mocked those people. So I'm trying to work my way through it. And my thing
I'm not saying we're above that. We're just
no. But I'm just trying to, the reason why I don't think it hits exactly is because we're not saying that all rural working class people are stupid.
Yeah, but
we're saying the ones that think that Trump is the way out and have fallen for this message are stupid.
No, but the problem is where, and I don't know because I'm not friends with rural white workers. If you looked at the entire population, do you believe all rural white uneducated voters of Trump are racist?
No.
Okay.
I think it's like a fun thing to say.
Okay, but how many? Okay, what percentage of that do you think? Do you think it's half?
I think
I think a large portion.
I think it could be half. Yeah.
Okay, so then the other half needs to be included in.
So I don't want to get percentages. You're white, so just like I can't talk about you can't talk about.
That's why I asked him the question.
Trust me, no one's gonna be outraged.
Yeah.
No, but I think the next point is that other portion of the rural working class white voter that's going for Trump is just the burn it down. Because Trump is representing, in theory, I'm going to burn the system down, and everyone, like, let's try something new. I didn't make money under Bush. I'm poor under Bush. I'm poor under Obama. Maybe this guy burns it down.
Yeah, I get that. I get it. I just think comparing it to like people who hate people because of their like race is different.
Yeah,
because I think they're dumb because of their choices, not because inherently they are dumb. Because they were born dumb,
right?
Yeah. I think the distinction is, I mean, it would be amazing to know the information of the question I just asked, which is like, if you took rural white uneducated people voting for Trump, what percentage is racist and what percentage is just like he is the way out for me?
Yeah, and the reason you'll never know it is because I have heard very closely, let's say, of conversations where people are actually acting out of fear of immigrants and stuff like that, but would never consider themselves racist.
Yeah.
So you'll never actually know.
I think you have a lot of progressives who feel the same way.
Yeah.
That live in their fancy neighborhoods and pretend they're progressives, but if their neighborhood started looking a little different,
a little
they
darker,
would be like, no, quite like, oh, what? Did you see who moved in?
Did you
see who moved in on this street?
Down over there at 1501?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think,
there's a lot of fake progressives.
Yeah. But that's also the point is I didn't mean to derail that because I was just trying to work out like why I see it differently because we do make fun of those people.
Yeah.
You know what I think? You know when you talk about like America hating like elites, I think it's I don't even think it's financial elites. I think it's like
talking down to people,
educational elites who think they know everything and their worldview is better than mine. Because like the one thing that this country worships is money, right? There's nothing more important to Americans than money.
Yep.
So let's assume you respect all rich people because they have money. There is that weird underlying worship that like middle class, lower class Americans have.
Yep.
Is anyone who's rich is amazing. But where it goes south is where you hear people in California or New York who the way they view the world is so like, I don't know. It is elitism, but like I think it's like more like knowledge elitism. Like, oh, you don't know about this, or you don't understand this, And even though they're living a different life than the person that lives a different life, that lives another life in another city, they just, the way they, I don't know, it is a perspective thing.
Yeah.
It's perspective elitism that I think is what pissing people off in the rest
So
of the
then
country.
do we have to stop?
Me, I'm personally not going to stop. I'm not running for president, so I don't care. But I'm just saying, I see why people in the middle of the country are like, shut the fuck up, D. I don't care what you think.
Yeah, I don't know where I'd land on that. Because to me, it's almost like, isn't there, like the same way, like there's an argument, and I'm not saying I do this, but there's an argument for fat shaming being good.
Yeah.
There is something about, right? And once again, just to be clear, I don't fat shame. But isn't there something about like calling out a knowledge discrepancy because the goal is to get people more knowledgeable? Like being more knowledgeable is
But you got to do it the Joe
good.
Rogan way then. You have to do it the Joe Rogan way,
I
which
agree.
is
It's
call
not-
people out. Because
Yeah.
if you, if
It's you know what's not going to work is Stephen Colbert,
shouting,
and
screaming.
Jimmy Kimmel, all these guys every night mocking half the country.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, they've tuned out. So they're,
And the Oscars, the Emmys, like those. If you have any view of like Trump is the guy or MAGA is the way, you want to kill these people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and those people want to kill us too. I mean,
yeah, that's the problem. And that's what we're getting nowhere.
yeah, but also we're more like just saying our perspective as opposed to like, I
Running
think
for
those guys are
president.
trying, or like running a late night show.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, just an interesting thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Quick update on TikTok.
Yeah.
Still here?
We'll find out.
I mean, what's November? What's the date now?
November 12th is the new date. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of people in the U.S. government that still want to ban this thing. For all the same reasons, nothing's changed. It just sounds like it's going through its kind of legal process. And I would be surprised if like Trump loses and he's like, fuck it, just shut this thing down.
On his way out.
Yeah.
Why not?
If he's not going to make money off of it, or maybe he'll set up a deal that he'll make money from after post presidency.
The reality is, I mean, I've always said it's going to get banned. I just think it's going to take time now because we're so distracted with so many different issues.
Yeah.
Like we're going to have a Supreme Court hearing or a Supreme Court judge confirmation. We're going to have an election that likely, is complicated. We're going to have
And now we're
ballots to count.
focused on Google.
Yeah.
I just don't think people understand. I don't think the people that can ban the thing understand that.
I think it'll take some time. I think it ultimately gets some sort of sort of deal.
Something has to change. You cannot allow this to happen.
Yeah.
It's not just going to, this issue isn't disappearing. So because it's election time, they've bought some time, but it's coming back. Whether it's first quarter of next year, second quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, with that being said, talking about the social network, Facebook came out today and said this next 10 days, they're freaked out. And they are looking to...
Because they're making so much ad money.
They're looking to really keep an eye on the content for the next 10 days. So it's unclear what they are going to do, but they know like the Republic hands is in their hands.
Yeah.
Because it's not just leading up to the election, it's election night and then post.
Yeah.
What will cause violence?
Yeah.
Like cause people to revolt.
I think that's almost more important.
Yes, I totally agree. I think election night comes. Your guy wins or loses. Where do you go?
Yeah.
You go to Facebook to feel better.
Yep.
And you're looking for content that reinforces whatever feeling you have.
Yep.
And I am terrified. I mean, if Facebook was so socially responsible, they'd like, you know what? We're going to make $100 billion a day anyways. Who cares? Just shut the fuck off for 4 days.
I know. For real.
Like literally,
that's the only way.
Yes. I don't think we should allow fucking Facebook for 4 days after the election.
Did you guys watch Borat?
Unbelievable.
No, not yet.
And there's a part where she has a book that she lives by, and she throws it out because she learns all these things that the women are allowed to drive and whatever. And she's like, I found a new book, Dad. It's called Facebook. And by the way, the Holocaust never happened.
I mean, I've said this time and time again now, like Facebook is a net negative for society. America specifically. If we're worried about Facebook before an election creating physical harm to where we all reside,
Yeah.
it should not be allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's
I
a
agree.
national threat.
I agree. Yeah, I'm real curious, man, because all these Rittenhouses and all these
You know how they
assault
say
rifles getting loaded
QAnon
up.
is a domestic terror threat? So is Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay. We got to run some ads. And here's the cool thing. Same ads,
Yes.
different rates.
Different voice.
No, I mean from Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah.
Manscaped.
Yeah.
Same partners here.
I
Just
mean-
the check's a little different.
Guess what? Our deal is better.
Yeah.
We've given up all that money to get you a better deal.
There you go. That's
We're
the
not
plus
greedy
side.
like Joe Rogan.
Yeah. That's the plus side of being a group chat list.
Yeah.
We're still working on Kanye. Okay, here we go.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. What is the best brand for my balls? Manscaped, of course. Hold up. Is that a nose pube? Good thing our partners at Manscaped are here to ensure you're taking care of your manhood and your nose hairs with the new Performance Package. Hello, guys. It is your boy Pete here. And if you're new, I'm the guy to read the ads. And if you've been here before, you know exactly what's going on. I'm here to bring you our wonderful sponsor for today's episode. And it is none other than the fan favorite Manscaped and the new Weed Whacker, the nose and ear hair trimmer, the only nose and ear hair trimmer you need. I hate nose hairs and ear hairs, especially nose hairs, because they're always sticking out and they make me look terrible. And I hate plucking them. I've tried to pluck them out before. It is the most painful thing in the world. And Manscaped and their Weed Whacker is solving that problem for me by trimming those hairs easily, comfortably, and conveniently. Manscaped Performance Package is the ultimate hygiene bundle. Now, I'm talking about the Weed Whacker, but we're also talking about the new Performance Package that Manscaped is offering. This includes the new Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, which is waterproof and uses 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system. That is just a crazy way to say this is one badass ear and nose hair trimmer. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent those nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Nothing is worse than getting down there and getting nicked, tagged, or snagged. Don't have those issues. Never have had those issues with any of the Manscaped products. Look, fellas, 79% of partners polled admitted that long nose hair is a major turnoff. Why not use the best tool for the job here? This bundle includes the Lawn Mower 3.0 trimmer, the best trimmer on the market for your balls, butt, and body. Let's not forget their famous liquid formulations, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner to maximize your ball hygiene. Not only are there three of the worst things in the world, is smelly balls, nose hairs, and hairy balls. Take care of all of them with this great Performance Package. Get the Performance Package now to receive their 2 free gifts, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Also, you will receive a replaceable blade every 3 months to keep your weed whacking and lawn mowing time clean and enjoyable. The Performance Package is the best value that Manscaped has to offer. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code GROUPCHAT at manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped, for making our holes look so sexy. I always feel kind of weird saying that, but they're not wrong. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code GROUPCHAT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code GROUPCHAT. What are you waiting for? Go whack your weeds. Thank you, Manscaped, for being a proud sponsor of the Group Chat podcast. That's going to do it for us on this episode of Ads and Sponsorships by your boy Pete. All right, let's get back into today's episode.
All right, we're back. We've talked a lot about this, about businesses, that have thrived. And I think we've talked more about ones that have thrived during the pandemic, really, than ones that have suffered. Definitely acknowledge that a lot are suffering. But I think the interesting thing is all these businesses that are thriving. One of the bigger ones is Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
As you can imagine, seems like about the world's biggest no-brainer. Everyone's trapped at home. Why not go ahead and get that Netflix subscription you've been waiting for? Stop using your ex-girlfriend's account. Numbers were booming.
Yep.
It seems like that's sort of tapered off. And we might be at all right, you got your pandemic boom. Everyone who's gonna sign up for it did. What now?
Netflix I think last quarter only added like 180,000 members in the United States. And that just tells you like America is what it is. It's like they have the market share. I don't know how many more people are going to sign up at the clip that they're used to signing up people in America.
Yeah.
It will continue to grow. There's obviously new people turning 18 and new accounts being started, but they added a lot of users in the first quarter and the second quarter. And first and second quarters, they added 26 million people globally. But I think all these businesses, specifically like your Netflixes, your Pelotons, your all that, they got their pandemic huge kind of jump.
Yeah.
It's just impossible to keep up like the way they did. And that goes with Home Depot, that goes with all these businesses that were huge kind of beneficiaries of everyone being locked down.
Yeah.
There's not endless money. There's not endless people. There's economic hardships.
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix is here to stay. They're winning the streaming wars, but it's also like they're just gonna have to raise prices. That's their next level of growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I catch myself not watching nearly as much Netflix as I was in April and May. Sports are on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. I think that's probably a big thing.
Yeah.
Because like that's all happened right when everything else was dead.
Yeah.
Your only choice was Netflix.
Yeah.
I also think like things like a Peloton even, I know, for your sake, I'd like to shit on it and maybe I should, but I think maybe it also takes a long time to realize that you're not going to the gym anymore. Finally, you buy that Peloton. Or if you want to start working out now, the way to do it is to get a Peloton instead of get a gym membership. Like I think that could have a longer like tail.
Yeah.
Netflix seems to me like you make the decision in the first 3 months. If you haven't done it by now, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
You either have a stolen account,
Yeah.
you're not into it, you choose another platform. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it just becomes like a content war on a go-forward basis. Who
Yeah.
has... So I think Netflix took the gamble that they're just going to have so much content and they're not going to be as hit-driven because as long as we just keep you on the flywheels, sending you like random shit, you're never going to leave. And then you're going to have like
HBO
that's like super highly produced content and they're going to try to get you on a hit to subscribe. But it has to fragment, right, over time.
But the winner looks like Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix is a winner.
Yeah.
There's no question.
I think where it gets hairy is like your HBOs, your Showtime.
Yeah, it's just going to be how much growth in the U.S. Netflix has. Can't be that much.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think
it has to have plateaued. Now it's just international.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think the good thing about streaming is that it is affordable internationally for everybody.
Yeah.
$9.99 is a doable dollar amount in other countries. Whereas like you can't sell a Peloton to someone in India. It's just not fucking happening. For $2,500. It's not.
Yeah.
No. There's a Wall Street Journal article talking about how much room Peloton has to grow.
Is it a lot?
Yeah. They said 160 million gym memberships worldwide. And I think there's like a couple million Peloton users.
Yeah,
I got to be honest. I went on to the Peloton website because I moved into a slightly bigger spot with a balcony that could hold a Peloton.
Yeah.
And I went on, I looked at it, and I'm like, you know what? I am going to give this a try.
Okay.
I set it 8 months ago.
Okay.
I went to check out, delivery mid-January.
No way.
Yeah. I said, all right, never mind. I'll never get a fucking Peloton. What are you doing? Like, this is your moment.
This is it.
You're telling me it's 3 months, 2 months to fucking, it's crazy.
Get the Soul Cycle one.
Maybe I will.
All your favorite Soul Cycle.
Angela?
Yeah.
Is she
Is
on
she
there?
on?
I'm
David?
sure.
Is David on there?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Is the Soul Cycle one out?
I missed the crew. It is. I didn't even know that.
I think Eric bought it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to ask Eric if our boy's on there. Okay. We got our final segment.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new one.
Yep.
Kathy of the week.
Karen of the week.
Okay. This is a new one. Karen of the week. We teamed up with Keeping Up with the Karens, incredible Instagram page.
Yep.
That highlights Karens all over the world, although they're mainly U.S. citizens.
Yep.
And each week we are going to pick our favorite Karen of the week. Now, here's the trick. The Karens can be any race, any gender, not white older women like most Karens are.
Mm-hmm.
But you can just, we just highlight someone who's acting like a Karen.
Yeah.
When it comes to acting like a Karen, we all know Karen, but let's just say complaining, maybe they're feeling a little entitled, passing blame, being unaccountable for their actions. Maybe they think they can get away with anything.
Yes.
That is the Karen mentality, and we're here to highlight it.
Yes.
So, Dee, this week, who was acting like a real Karen?
I have two.
Okay.
Wow.
My first one is Rudy Giuliani.
Interesting.
Rudy Giuliani has been on a tear on Fox News recently about the Hunter Biden case.
Yep.
He's just been everywhere trying to find the smoking gun on Hunter Biden, been bashing the Bidens,
Yep.
and frankly, very reckless.
Yes. Very
And then on
entitled,
Friday, I watch Borat.
Yeah.
I saw Rudy Giuliani happily walk into a hotel room
Yeah.
with a young woman,
Yep.
was adjusting something in his pants,
Hmm.
and looks like he had a cocktail.
Yeah.
Like they look, both the reporter and him had a cocktail.
Yep.
He was happily gonna have sex with this woman.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Sacha Baron Cohen interrupting and saying she's too old for you. She's 15 years old. Like, I think he saved, to Sacha Baron Cohen's credit, Borat,
Yeah.
he saved Rudy Giuliani's career.
Yeah, because I think if you're making content, like if you're Borat, if you're Sacha Baron Cohen, you let that go on for 5 more minutes.
Yes. You let it come out.
But I think that's how
at
you
least
don't
let
get
him get his
sued.
pants off.
No,
Yeah.
but I think that's how he doesn't get sued. Pete claims that Borat has had hundreds of lawsuits and he's never lost a lawsuit
Really?
in his
He
entire
would have
career.
to have had hundreds of lawsuits.
So he knows to push
He
it.
knows where to
just-
stop.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a business, right?
Yeah.
Borat's not a political activist.
But you couldn't have
He might be on this movie. If you watch
Yeah, I
this
haven't watched
movie,
this
you
one
couldn't
yet.
have Rudy in his boxers. You know, like I just
Yeah.
think he could have. You're probably right, but he could have pushed it a little further.
yeah, I mean,
Do you really? Come on.
What?
Do you really think if Rudy Giuliani's on camera having sex with an of-age woman, because she
No.
was of age,
yeah.
any of the Trumpsters are right would give a shit?
No,
I don't think it has any impact on his career.
I don't think the core Trumpsters would have cared, but I think there would have been like repercussions. Like
What would they be? You think Fox News is not going to invite him on?
I think it could maybe go that far.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. Did you watch that scene?
No, but
It's really.
But it's borderline bad.
Yeah.
It got right up to the edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It's a-
it's uncomfortable. But what would have happened in the next 2 minutes?
would have been
would have-
amazing.
yeah, if he sexually assaulted her, yes, that
Yeah.
would have ended him.
Yeah.
There
Or
was
if
no
she
need
just-
to.
if-
She was willingly going to bed.
Yeah.
So then
that's
what's
the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I think it would. I just think it.
Isn't he married?
No, he's divorced.
Oh, he just divorced.
All right, Fox would have had him.
Fox would
Well, I'm just saying you could have got. I think to Dee's point, Sasha hooked Rudy up
Yes.
because 2 more minutes and you got a way different story. Because when I watched it after all the hype, I was like, yeah, like it's uncomfortable and creepy, but like
Yeah.
not a career ender.
Yeah,
No.
true. My other Karen is, so I mentioned last week, a losers of the week were this actor and actress who I don't really know who they are, Dominic West and Lily James, because they
Okay.
got caught cheating in Rome.
Okay.
Um,
When in Rome.
fast forward, this woman's name pops up again,
Okay.
Lily James.
Oh. Big new movie?
She does have a new movie coming out.
Okay.
And apparently she had something to do with breaking up Armie Hammer's wedding.
No.
Or not wedding, marriage. And there's like these text messages she had with him where he was texting effectively her character name in the new movie they have coming out together.
Yeah.
Really passionate text,
Yeah.
which now people are assuming led to the separation of Armie Hammer and his current situation.
Damn, got the Winklevi?
Yeah. And
She got a Winklevi?
No,
No,
was it
Armie
Armie Hammer
Hammer's-
Winklevi?
Oh, the Winklevi. The Winklevi. Yeah. Yep.
but like I'm just like
I
how
want to see
this
who this person is.
she is just
Breaking up marriages.
yeah, I mean talk about no repercussions.
Yeah.
She's just going through dudes.
Yeah, she does not care about your current.
And these guys
status.
are just falling. I mean, like she must have a spell on these guys.
Yeah,
Both are married.
that's crazy.
Wow.
Two.
Maybe that's her type.
Yeah.
Maybe she likes a little risk.
Married with kids.
Yeah.
That's her steez.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very Karen.
Yeah.
Anand, who's your Karen?
Karens of the week are the Bitcoin naysayers.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I'm one of those.
It's here. It's done. It's over. Argument's done.
What happened?
Bitcoin's here to stay.
Why?
So
was there
What
any
changed
doubt it
from
would
last
go?
week?
PayPal has announced for the 346 million customers that you can purchase, buy, and sell Bitcoin. So
Did you buy any Bitcoin on PayPal?
I do not buy Bitcoin on PayPal.
What happened to Bitcoin?
Bitcoin's gone up significantly in the last kind of 2 weeks.
13,000.
And you have like pretty much JP Morgan, whose CEO Jamie Dimon said
was last
Bitcoin's
year.
a complete fraud. It's complete.
But he did make a big.
He kind of tempered his statement last week. JP Morgan came out with a research report this week saying how Bitcoin is definitely going to be this alternative asset that institutions are going to dive into. It's just finally so clear to the mainstream that this is an asset that's going to be around.
Yep.
What it ultimately turns into, is it a $5 trillion or $10 trillion asset?
Yeah.
I think that's where you guess,
Yeah.
but it's not a $250 billion asset, which is what it is now.
And it's not a currency.
Bitcoin itself, I would view it at the downside case, it's gold
Got it.
at its worst case.
You think one day people are going to use Bitcoin to buy Subway?
Maybe not Bitcoin, but maybe some of the other cryptocurrencies.
Okay. Well,
And Ethereum is obviously, I think, the real future of the internet.
Ethereum specifically.
Yeah, because everyone's
Now a bunch
building.
of kids listen to the podcast are going to go buy Ethereum.
Well, D's a Karen this week. Okay.
I think it's
that's a good one.
undeniable at this point.
Yeah, that's a good
Whether
one.
it's 2 trillion or 10 trillion or 20 trillion,
Yeah.
I can't predict that.
Plus Kanye talked about it,
Yeah.
right?
You know, all of his fans
He
will go
knows
buy
all
some.
his friends are like big in the.
Bitcoin's
His friend, the people he mentions are literally the smartest people in the world.
Is it the Coinbase people?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My Karen is, it was minor, but I just got to shout it out. I had a run-in with a real life Karen.
No way.
Wow.
So, you can't really go out much. People aren't really doing
Where?
much. I went to, I had a little outdoor dining, actually right down here on
Rocco's?
Wilshire. The roll place.
Oh, Kazunori.
Kazunori. So we were driving around and wanted to find somewhere to eat where there was no one really at. So there's kind of this empty, their outdoor seating right down there.
I always see people there, though.
Yeah, it's popping, but
Yeah.
it was empty last
Yeah.
night. So the point is, I simply walked up to the front, and I said, "Excuse me, how long is the wait for 2 people?" And this woman that apparently thought she was somewhere in line, I wasn't cutting in line. Now she freaked out.
Oh, my God.
Excuse me, ma'am, I was in line. These people just blocked me off. These people just cut me. And I said, relax. I'm just asking how long
Yeah.
the wait is. No, this is ridiculous, blah, blah. And then, so I'm like, all right, I'm going back to my spot in the line. Go back there. And then her boyfriend comes back and she's just complaining so loudly about these people that came and tried to steal her spot.
Oh my
and
God.
blah, blah, blah.
That's
And
a
it
real
was
Karen.
very uncomfortable. It was a real life. And I was like, wow, I've been out of public life for the whole year.
Holy crap.
I forgot what this was even like. And here is a real life Karen spotted in the wild. And then they sat us 5 feet from her.
Hopefully 6.
And, yes, 7. And you could still hear her talking about it all through dinner. And it was the most uncomfortable thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was the food good?
Food was good. I mean, that place is all rolls.
Yeah.
So it's a little limited.
Yeah.
It's not good if you're starving and want a real dinner.
Food's good there.
For a little snack to get out of the house, it's nice.
Yeah.
But just watch out for Karens.
Yeah.
Because they are alive and well on Wilshire.
And we're doing a giveaway. Maybe you want to enter this giveaway now, Drama. We're
I'm
giving
in.
away a No Karens Allowed floor mat.
I see we have one here in the studio.
Yeah, courtesy of Keeping Up with the Karens. So
Yep.
a little segment, we partnered with them. So head over to our Instagram because we'll be giving away that floor mat.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Sign on up and keep us updated on if you catch any Karens out in the wild. If you
Yeah.
catch a good one on video, send it over to us or Keeping Up with the Karens. Maybe you'll get featured.
Yeah, that would be really
I
cool.
wish I would have got that last night.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shout outs?
Yes. So I got a couple shout outs from people that requested shout outs months ago.
But got
they
ignored.
were missed.
Wow.
First one was from Katie Wilson. She's out in looks like in I don't know where she is. Maybe in Northeast Boston area.
Okay.
She goes, Pete truly is an idiot. My boyfriend submitted a shout out for me via the newsletter link over a month ago for my birthday, and it never got read.
I think Pete's doing this on purpose at this point.
No, I think he just doesn't pay attention. I don't think I think he's purposely an
Maybe he
idiot.
doesn't care about the listeners.
Yeah, he just the amount of effort that I put to go through my DMs and screenshot and save, he's not doing that.
Yeah.
And then another one from Mark Kennedy, it looks like. Pete is an idiot. I got another one that he acknowledged, but I never got my shout out back in August. Birthday shout out for his 31st birthday. He's out in Toronto. And he wanted to give his wife, Megan, a shout out, who's giving birth to their second wife at home with midwives.
Second kid.
And the kid's name is
D.
Maverick Kobe Kennedy.
Wow.
Hot name.
Sheesh.
And
Maverick
Pete,
Kobe, that kid has to be a winner.
yeah, and obviously Pete missed that.
Wow.
All right. Well, now the guy's 34 years old. He's on his second kid.
Yeah.
And, Maverick Kobe is 3 years old.
Yeah.
So,
And then-
Pete doesn't care about the listeners is what it comes down to. So if
And
you see
then-
him in the streets,
Yep.
because he loves the fan interaction, give him a smack.
Yeah. just
Or as
an
D
idiot.
says, spit in his face.
I think spit at this point is fine.
Okay.
And then we have Vishal Ramakrishnan. Shout out.
Yeah, Vishal Ramakrishnan from Edison, New Jersey.
Of course.
Shout out to my girl Pooja Shah from LA, who's a longtime group chat listener and a huge fan of Dee and Anand.
Nice.
What?
She's crushing it at work and
What
is a
the
badass
fuck?
woman.
There's 3 people on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, let us Indians get some shinier.
Jeez.
Vishal and
She
Pooja.
Come
she hates
on.
drama. She thinks drama.
You look like you were really reading that.
Keep your head up, Pooja, and kick ass.
That's awesome.
Come on, Pooja.
Yeah.
I got my pass. I got the H word pass.
The Hindu pass.
Jesus. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Guys, everyone have a great week.
Did you want to do the George?
But that says November 26th.
on Mondays.
Wow,
Yep.
November 26th.
Yep.
That's so funny.
That's okay. Okay, guys. That's it. Have a great week. Get ready to vote. Maybe you already have voted.
I think most
Preventative.
people have voted.
I think so.
I'm voting tonight.
You are?
I'm filling out my ballot and then dropping it off. There's a ballot box like 3 blocks from me.
Nice.
I'm gonna go.
That's
drop
nice
it.
and easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy couple weeks, and we are here to walk you through it. Guys, see you on Wednesday.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Arrivederci.
Adios.
Adios.
Adios. Ciao, Bella. Peace, bitches.